So I just had a rather interesting experience, a really delightful experience. What happened was I ran into the First Nations guy that was at the protest, and he was on, the other side of the protest, obviously, right? But there were two different times during that protest, and you'll be able to see him in my films, where I asked them, I really tried to look him in the eye and ask him, what do you think about this? And by this, I meant the screaming memes that were standing between me and him, right? I just asked them like that, right? So we're obviously on a different side of the argument, I guess. And so I ran into today, and he's a rough-looking guy, right? Very rough-looking guy. But I just approached him and I said, "Hey, you're at the protest, right?" And I think he remembered me probably. I don't know if he remembered me before I pointed out that I was the guy that asked him that question. But when I did point it out, he goes, "Oh, okay, yeah." And his attitude towards me was totally friendly. And we both agreed that it was pretty crazy. And I surprised him by saying that it was, for me, a lot of fun. That was the most fun I've had in decades. I really loved that day. So adventuresome. Yeah, so he was surprised by that. And then I tried to say, it's crazy because those people wouldn't let us talk, which is really the heart of this situation, right? They won't let us talk. And his response was to say they're ashamed of what we did to us. So, yeah, that's interesting. I didn't really know quite how to respond to that, so I didn't. But I have a feeling I'll run into him again. Yeah, that was really good. The other thing I want to say is that he was really the kind of First Nations person that I used to know that wasn't pushy about his opinions, like at all. First Nations people are, when you first meet them, they can seem a little bit passive in a sense because they don't push their opinions, right? That's just something they don't do. But he was warm and friendly and happy that somebody spoke with him. And it was great. I hope I run into him. I would definitely for me, friends is difficult because for me, a friend is somebody, if they're in trouble, you'd put yourself out for, and they'd do the same for you. Otherwise, it's not real friendship. But, I don't know if I don't throw around that word. But I definitely like to become friendly acquaintances with him, for sure.